right, well, welcome everybody to today's webinar. My name is Alex. I'm going to be hanging out with you here today. What we're going to be going over in this webinar is how to set up and use Aplos Aplos donations for your organization. Aplos has multiple products. We have an accounting product if you need to keep track of your income, expenses, fund balances, bank balances, things like that. And we have this donations product if you need to record who's given to you how much and generate giving statements and keep track of their information as well. So that's what we're going to look at today. So donations, once you register, will land you here on the dashboard. And the first thing you're going to notice is this left-hand menu where you can navigate around the software. You've got the dashboard, which shows you kind of a high-level overview of your account. You've got settings where you can enter your organization's information, add users, as well as customize your subscription to Aplos. You've also got your contacts, which is kind of your people database or big address book area where you can record your contacts, all of their information, as well as see some reports based on them as well. And then you have reports. So as you begin to enter information and have some content in the product here, you will have the ability to generate some reports. Below reports is where the software starts to get into more product-specific areas. So if you have accounting, you'll have a little sub-menu there that you can use the accounting product. And then donations, if you click on donations, you'll have these three little pages that you can go to, and that is your donations product. The first area here is purposes. A purpose in Aplos donations is essentially the system asking you, okay, when you receive money or you record money coming into your organization, what's it for? Why? Why are you receiving this money? So this can be things like a kind of a general administrative purpose. This can be like a fund, like a missions fund, or an event like a fundraiser or a harvest festival. These are, again, kind of the answer to the question, what is this money for, right? So what is the purpose, if you will? You can click on the general purpose and edit that, or you can create a new purpose by just clicking this button here. You can enter the name and a description for it. And once those are set up, you'll actually be able to use these purposes when creating your online forms, as well as manually entering donations, which we'll take a look at here in a minute. So the first step, once you get into Aplos donations, is to go to purposes, create all the purposes that you're going to need. And this is kind of an ongoing process. So, down the road, you might think of one that you didn't before. That's okay. Add it later. Once you have your purposes set up, you can begin customizing your online forms. Now, this is the online donations area of Aplos donations. When you first land on this screen, it's going to ask you to set up a WePay account, which is the company that we partner with to offer this online donations capability. Once you have an account set up, you're going to land here where we've given you a general form, and you can actually click the little plus button to create a new form like I did for my fundraiser here. Once you create or edit a form, you'll have some options here to change the color scheme, add logos, add information. And these little tabs here are where you can navigate through that process. So form settings is where you're going to name the form itself. So when you look at the list, you can distinguish it from the others. And then the form URL is what's going to show up at the end of the hyperlink here for your donation form. Okay, so I'm going to have mine as fundraiser. The design portion here is where you can now customize the aesthetic value of the form. So what color scheme do you want? Do you want to add your logo up here in the top left? Do you want to have an image here right there? Do you want to have a headline? Do you want to have a custom message? You can customize this all to appear and communicate what you want the people to see when they land on this form. Below design, we have donor information, which is where you can add what information is collected from your donors when they hit this form. You're going to have a first, last name, and email address, and then coming very soon, we will have the ability to collect other information as well, like an address, your email, phone number, things like that. And then lastly, you have the donations tab, which is where you customize what the donation is valued at, as well as what purpose is it hitting. So you can add custom amounts here. So if you want to add, $50 or $100, if you want to create a new amount, you can as well. And those are the amounts that are going to show up on the form. You can also add the ability for them to enter their own amount using this other field. And you can choose whether or not you want them to designate this as a one-time gift or a reoccurring gift. Last option here is you're going to add what purposes you want to be offered. If there's only one purpose for this form, then that's what everybody's going to default to. They won't have a choice. But if you add another purpose, then when they hit this form, they will be able to choose what purpose they're donating money to your organization for. Okay. So once you have all these settings enabled, on the right-hand side, you're going to want to click Save and then click Publish to make the form live. And you can also click Next here, and coming very soon, we will have the ability to collect their bank information as a form of payment outside of a debit or a credit card. But for now, that's the only option. And if you go back to the online forms here, you can now see there's my form. I can click on it to edit it if I'd like, but you can also click View Form, and that will show you what your donors are going to see when they hit this form. So I don't have any images or anything special here, so it kind of looks a little bland, but you can see the color scheme, the text, the information for your donors, the amount. Once they hit Donate Now, they'll move to a second screen where they can enter their card details or bank information once we have that offered. And at this point, you've created a purpose, you've created a WePay account, and you've customized a form. So you are ready to go as far as it is concerned of receiving online donations. It can be super quick that you can get up and going in the software. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this Go to WePay thing. Once you create a WePay account, be sure to click Go to WePay here, and that will walk you through a couple of verification steps that you'll need to do in WePay to be able to customize what bank account you want the money to be transferred to from WePay, as well as verifying your account. And then you also have the option to try Aplos Accounting. Since we have accounting and donations as separate products, they do stand alone, but if you do want to use both of them in conjunction with one another, you can. And then that way, some of your donations, if you want, will automatically go into your accounting. If you want some more information on that, let us know. All right, so for donations, we've got purposes, we created online forms, and the last little tab here is contributions. And contributions is where you can manually enter donations. So any donation that you've received outside of a online donation, you can manually record those there. And you can also click this tab up here to see what reoccurring schedules or donations you have for your organization and manage those. For manually entered donations, what you'll do is enter a date and a batch name for the donations you're about to enter. And I'm going to go to a previous entry here. And then a batch description if you'd like. But essentially, once you have a date and a name, this is titling and designating a date for a group of donations that you're about to enter. So below that, you would enter the note or the check for the donation. So check number there. Here's the donor. What purpose are they donating to? And then the amount. The non-tax deductible amount and checkbox and the expense are optional fields. And if you want some more information on those, we can give them to you. But otherwise, all you need to worry about is the donor, purpose, and amount. Those little asterisk fields right there. And once you add one person, another line will appear, so you can add a second, and so on and so forth. There's no limit to the amount of people you can put in here. And once you have all the donations entered, what you're going to do is click Post. That will save it to the left-hand side there, and then now those amounts are saved to those people so that you can generate reports based on that information. So let's take a look at that. If I go to Reports and I go to the Income by Person or Company report here, I'm going to see here are my donors, and within this time range up here, this is the amount of money that they've given me, and I can also choose to include or exclude the details of the totals. I can also exclude non-tax deductible amounts, and I can save or export this information to Excel if I'd like, or print it. But the real cool thing here is generate statements. Now what this does is generates a PDF based on your settings that you customize here, and each person will then have their own PDF with their giving history so that you can print it, mail it, send it to these people, and that will be their tax form for the end of the year with all their donation history. Down the road in the next couple of months, we will have the option to allow your donors to be emailed so that they can kind of log in and see this information for themselves. So that way you can save cost on having to print these things out and mail them. But we'll keep you posted on that. So that's reports. Last thing I want to mention here is in contacts. If you have a contact that has information, you can also click on them, edit their contact information, or click on transactions here. And this is actually how you can generate a statement for just this one person. So instead of a whole list of everybody, if you go to just one person, click the printer thing here, set up some settings, you can generate a contribution statement for just that one person from this screen. All right? So that's the donations product. Again, once you land in the software, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to donations here and click on purposes to set up your purposes. And these are, again, kind of the ways or the purpose of the money coming into your organization. So whether it's for a fund or an event or a person specifically, whatever the purpose is, create that. Once you have those set up, you can customize your online forms or manually enter contributions using those purposes. And then once you have that information entered, you can now generate contribution statements or see income reports by person in the reports or the contacts section here. Okay, so that's the donations product. Real quick, I'm going to go over the pricing for this. You can see a breakdown of this if you go to settings and then to subscription. This subscription shows you what your Aplos subscription is, which includes all of our products. So you can see here that we've got accounting, which is currently off. If you need to use accounting, you can turn that on if you'd like. But below that is donations, and there's 3 tiers of pricing for this. The first is $0, and this $0 a month product allows you to have all of the online donations functionality and the contacts section. So if you just need to record online donations and you want to have a way for people to donate to you online, it's $0 a month to Aplos. The only fees that are applied for this are the transaction rates that are applied to the online donations received. If you need to move up and add a little bit more functionality, you can click this middle tier right there, and that is $15 a month. And what this does is gives you the online donations, but also contributions management, which is where, again, you can manually record donations, see reoccurring schedules, and generate contribution statement reports. That is all part of that $15 a month product. We do have one more tier here, which you can enable for $25 per month that has all of the functionality I just mentioned and a lower transaction rate for donations. So there's a break-even point that I'm not sure the amount on, but I can get it to you if you'd like, that once you start receiving that much per month in online donations, it's actually more beneficial for you to move to the top tier here to buy down your transaction rate a little bit, so that way you save some money on the incoming donations. Also, if you have your WePay account set up, be sure to click verify if you are a 501c3 organization or a church. That will opt you into our lower transaction rates, which are 1% lower for all of these. So instead of 4%, it would be 3%. And then for ACH, it's 1% lower than that, so 2%. Okay. And then if you decide to use Aplos, all you would do is click subscribe. That'll move you to where you would enter your credit card information. And coming soon, we will offer the ability for you to pay via bank draft for Aplos as well. So stay tuned for that. But that is Aplos donations. So what I'd like to do now is open it up for some questions. You're bound to have some questions on how to use this or how to integrate it for your organization. So I'm going to pause myself for a couple of minutes, let you guys submit any questions that you might have. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, if you have any questions regarding this product, please feel free to call us at 1-888-274-1316 or email us at support@aplos.com to ask any questions on how you can get this set up for your organization. All right, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and thanks for using Aplos.